It is Sam's Sermons of Brian Cameron Uncensored on Magic 107.5, 97.5, the real sound of Atlanta. And I've got the honor and privilege to talk to someone that's got more air miles than Delta has flights. I'm just saying, like, this person is well-traveled, well-versed, and they are making a difference representing Ghana. So I have the honor of talking to Lady Dentaa. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Sam. How are you?
I'm wonderful. First and foremost, there's a lot of people that have been interested in making sure they have their passports and making sure they can get there. There's a backlog and stuff like that. But for those that are prepared and that are ready to go, like myself, we're ready to get on these flights.
You're ready to go?
Yes, I'm ready to go right now.
Listen, I have you backed up. I've got your flight ready.
Okay.
So you leave on Delta.
Okay.
So you go to the airport. Mm-hmm. We fly to Ghana. It's about, 8 hours?
Oh, it's not bad at all.
Yeah, 8 hours. We're in Ghana. Land in Kotoka. I'll take you to the best resort so you can relax and have a spa.
Yes.
While they bring you some fresh coconut.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Watermelon, mango.
Take me there right now.
You're ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
I'm going to take you.
Yeah, so she is the president of the GBUA Foundation in Diaspora. And for those that don't know, that is Grow, Unite, Build Africa. And for what all that stands for, and also having an event here in the Metro Atlanta area this weekend, what is it that made sure, hey, I need to make sure I make Atlanta one of the flagship places I'm at and speaking to, and how did this all come about? So
GUBA stands for Grow, Unite, Build Africa. It started about, 14 years ago when I used to live in the UK. So I was seeing amazing Black people and I felt that the diaspora, us in the diaspora, so us in the UK, Europe, USA, we didn't really have that much connection to the continent. Mm-hmm. And so we wanted an awards ceremony that would celebrate the two, making sure your brothers and sisters that are in the diaspora and that are in the continent, you know what they're doing. That you know that you can be successful on the continent and you can be successful in the diaspora as a Black person. Because every time I was in the UK, when you ask somebody, who's your role model? We hear Bill Gates. And I'm like, there's Dangote, there's so many successful Black people on the continent and in the diaspora that we need to boldly say, this is my role model. And just reconnecting us as brothers and sisters so that we all know what we are doing and the opportunities that you have as a diaspora and as a Black person back home in the continent. And so that's how GUBA started. We started with the award ceremony, celebrating so many well-known people and also unsung heroes. So even last year, we actually honored a 13-year-old girl that's from Texas. We brought her to Rwanda. We did the awards in Rwanda. And we celebrated. So she is the first Black young girl that's been able to get into medical school at the age of 13. That is as a Black person, that just gives you it gives you chills, and you're just like, this is worth celebrating. And also bringing her to the continent, she was just like, I'm home. She's a big fan of STEM, and so now she's doing stuff with the University of Ghana. We also celebrated and honored Harvey Mason Jr., the CEO of the Grammy Awards.
Yes.
So he came to Rwanda, where we celebrated, and again, he reconnected back to his ancestors, to his people. So it was really important for us to know where we're from. Sometimes the media doesn't do us justice, especially media in the diaspora. We always see the bad parts of Africa, but never the beautiful parts and the beautiful things that our people are doing and how successful they are. And so the award ceremony was to celebrate that. So what we do is that we do it in the diaspora, so sometimes we'll do it in the US. So we're actually planning on doing it in Atlanta this year.
Okay.
And then the following year, we do it on the continent, so we bring people back home. Again, reconnecting and uniting us as a people.
That's incredible. And I think what's even more so incredible is that you are a nurse. Like you've done all the research. You're someone that actually has a very close tie when it comes to health, and especially when it comes to mortality, especially in the diaspora.
Yes.
So for the event you're here for and all the causes that you stand for, What is it about your health background that makes it more rewarding when you get to put it on a global stage?
Yeah, health is so important. Health is wealth. And one of the things that we've been looking at as an organization is health, education, and empowerment. And I'll talk about health. Health, yes, I qualified as a pediatric nurse at the age of 21, rose up to be a senior nurse very quickly. And one of the things I was seeing back home in Ghana was that every 15 minutes a child dies because of a lack of incubator. We don't have enough incubators in our hospitals. And if we do have an incubator, there's about 2 or 3 to 4 babies in an incubator. And so that hit me, and I was just like, what can we do to be able to help stop this? So again, we reach out to the diaspora and also people on the continent, and then we raise funds to help those situations. Just a few weeks ago, we donated about 10 hospital beds to hospitals in the rural areas because they didn't have delivery beds and they didn't have recovery beds for mothers who were giving birth. And so this cause is something, so infant mortality is something that we really want to make sure that we break. It's very high on the continent, unfortunately. And us as a people, if we come together, we can make sure that this doesn't happen, because the children who are being born are the next future leaders, our next future presidents. And so we need to make sure that our children survive.
Absolutely. And another cause that you also put Guba behind is about autism.
Yeah.
I know you've done a huge campaign with that community and how important it is, because I feel like all of us know someone that is that's their superpowers, not necessarily anything that hinders them. So what is your direct tie, or how did you even get started with the autism aspect? So
with autism, what we found is that it was, in our community, it was looked upon as a taboo, as witchcraft. That if you have a child who's autistic, then you're a witch. A lot of women were afraid to come out or to go to church because some of their children would maybe run around and they wanted to be at church. Some of the children want sensory rooms. And so we did a major campaign in the UK where we went to the House of Commons, we brought MPs, we brought pastors, we brought people from the mosque to come and hear what people with children with autism were going through and the support that we needed. We did church tours because church is where a lot of our black people, we go, right? We want to honor our God, and so we go to church on Sunday. So we did a church tour where we went into the churches and preached ourselves about autism and how the church needs to support autistic children and the families. And so through that campaign, we actually got some of the churches do sensory rooms for children with autism and allowed the parents to be able to come to church and worship.
That's amazing. And a necessity that you really didn't realize until you were all the way in it, because absolutely, especially in the black community, that is our safe haven, and you want to be able to still worship without the criticism that you may be under, because we're all humans.
And as you said, autistic children are superhumans. Like, they're different. Some of their IQs, we don't even have the IQ, right? There's this young boy that we used to support, Joshua. So Joshua used to tiptoe. So he walks, he just tiptoes. Mm-hmm. He's a university student at the age of 9 in the UK.
Wow.
He was going to Oxford. So it's like, yes, they have their own challenges, but I think all they want is just love. They just want love just like any other person. And so we really go hard on autism, infant mortality, and also education. So education, we raise money for children to have tables and chairs in school. So in some of the rural areas, some of the kids are still sitting down on the floor to have their education. And so we raise money. We've recently donated 100 tables and chairs to a rural area in the northern region to help with that. So, I encourage the diaspora, I encourage us as black people, because look, when things happened back in the day when the British were in Africa, or the Danes or whatever, they took away a lot from us, and we are still trying to recover. And so if us in the diaspora are able to give back and build our nations ourselves and how we want to see Africa, we will all be doing stuff on the continent. So I think that it's about us reuniting, growing together. So growing, uniting, and building together.
Absolutely. And, your resume is long as a CBS receipt. I don't know if you have the CBS, know how long it is, but you're on every list possible. You got your TV show, your entertainment aspect of it, but also the tourism. Yeah. To the likes of hosting Keith David and Ludacris even, and getting a lot of people to come home and basically find themselves in Ghana.
Yeah.
What is one thing that you would want to let listeners know, or anyone that's watching this, like, here's why you have to come to Ghana. Not should, have to.
Yeah. And even if it's not Ghana, just coming back to the continent. Look, I always say that not everybody is going to move back to the continent, but we can all invest. We can all mentor somebody, and we can all just visit the continent. So I think it's really important. I'm an advocate for bringing our people back. Like I said, I took, a lot of people back home, and they have reconnected to the soil. Sometimes it's saying it is different to the feeling that you get when you are back home. And you are loved. You will see your brothers and sisters. You will see your aunts. I remember when Steve Harvey was in Ghana, he's like, that person looks like my aunt. That person looks like my uncle. And you will reconnect with your people. We have W.B. Du Bois that's buried there. Him and his wife that are buried in Ghana. We have, our first president invited Martin Luther King to Ghana. So there's so much history, there's so much knowledge, there's so much connection between us that I don't want that to be broken. I want that to be reconnected.
The family ties that we have, we need to get there and really have a reunion.
Yes. And in December is the best time to come. So December is our December in GH, where we have, I don't know if you've heard of Afrochella, which is now Afrofuture. Yes. It's a big concert in Ghana, where last year actually they brought Meek Mill to perform, plus having the Burna Boys, the Asha Kid, the Stone Boys, etc., just bringing us together through music. So it's important that we connect through music. So come if you want to do tours. We have an organization that helps diasporans come back home. So anything that you need, whether it's visa, whether it's a car, whether it's just, a tour package going back to Cape Coast Castle, we do all of that. Because sometimes when you're coming back, you're like, who do I go to? Where do I go?
All right, I'm here, now what?
I'm here, now what? And we're all that organization that will help you and say, this is what you do. This is how you do it. And we go with you as well.
Perfect. All right, so how can they link with you and to get all the Gooba information that they'll need to make all this possible?
So I'm on social media, Dentaa, DENTAA_show, or you can go to goobaenterprise.com, www.goobaenterprise.com, and you can follow us. And we're here to serve. We're here to serve our people to make sure that they come back home.
It's been an opportunity in itself and an honor to sit here with Lady Dentaa. I appreciate you spending your time with Brian Cameron Uncensored, and we will be in Ghana very, very soon.
I can't wait.
It's magic.